What a heavy day in sports. I was going to record this video, talk about Green Day, talk about the NHL, but we get some very, very tragic news that Kobe Bryant died. My goodness. I'm not the biggest basketball fan. I think anybody can kinda acknowledge that, and this video hasn't been marketed in any way as basketball, Kobe Bryant, or whatever. This is purely a video marketed about Green Day, but where would I be as a sports fan, a lover of competition, without even acknowledging Kobe Bryant and what he has done? So, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I'm the last person who should be talking about basketball, but man, we lost a legend today. Jeez. So, moving on from that, I know it's tough to move on from that, but this video was not supposed to be about that. Instead, this was supposed to be about hockey, the All Star Game, and Green Day. Because if you were to go back in time to about 7-8 years ago, and talk to 12-year-old me, 12-year-old Lego Rocks, 12-year-old Gio, and say, hey man, in 8 years, you're gonna get paid to make a YouTube video where you're talking about Green Day and the NHL. I would have called you nuts. Who would have thought that my two biggest worlds, Green Day, who was probably my favorite band in 2012 when they released Uno, Dos, and Tre, yeah, I know, don't judge me, I was only 12 myself, and hockey today would be colliding in such a weird, engaging topic. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, Green Day has a partnership with the NHL. They kind of collaborated on a few things. It's kind of funny because Green Day and the NHL have a 2-year partnership that started back in September. And we're only like 2 months into it. And already Green Day has been finding ways to push some of the different buttons of the NHL. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Green Day, because they do have this partnership with the league, have played at the NHL All Star Game. They did 2 concerts. One was earlier on in the evening where they were actually outdoors. They played a few songs for a free selection of people. It was no cost to get in, and it was just plain, just out there in the open. This was a cold concert, and it was a short concert, and Green Day, apparently, according to what I've heard, I can't get any confirmation on this, were kind of upset with how that one part was held up. Now, this concert that was outdoors, Green Day was proper. They did everything that the league wanted them to do. They performed the songs, no curse words, no whatever. It's just, yeah. But then, Green Day did another performance during the period intermission of the actual All-Star Game. Here, they played a few classic hits. They played American Idiot. They played Basket Case. And they played one of their newer songs too. They played Fire, Ready, Aim, which has been a song that they've been using with NHL promos and all that stuff. So it's kind of like the theme song, if you may say, of the Green Day NHL partnership. But it's actually really interesting because Green Day, rocking a venue in St. Louis, playing their fan-favorite songs, just went full-out Green Day. And in the middle of Basket Case, Billy Joe Armstrong just lets out, "Get your effing hands in the air." And you can see the camera pan over to Trey Cool, the drummer. He's kind of laughing about it because he knows, hey, the NHL is like the last organization that would approve that kind of language. But Billy Joe didn't stop there. He let out 2 more F-bombs in the concert, and that was absolutely awesome. I'm not gonna say that that was bad or whatever, but I will say that it's kind of funny that everybody is pointing out how the NHL probably had a problem with that. And it's just brought all the more to the comedic side of things when you take a look at, this is literally like 1/12 of the way through Green Day and the NHL's marketing partnership, and already Green Day has done this? Now, in my opinion, I'm a fan of it. You book Green Day, you book a punk rock, pop punk band, you're not gonna expect them to not do that. If you tell them, no, don't do that, you're just gonna get shoved in the face. That's what punk music is all about. Shoving it in the face of authority and doing whatever the heck you want. That's what it's about. And Green Day probably know and understand that. So even if the NHL did tell Green Day, hey, don't say these words, there's no way they would have actually believed Green Day would listen, right? They did censor out some of the F-bombs and the other curse words. There was a slur in there on the songs that had those words as their lyrics, because they knew those words were coming up, so they were able to dim the microphones at the appropriate time. However, if you know Green Day, they like to blurt out in the middle of their songs just random lines, like, in between the verses that already exist. And that's kind of where the leaks in the pavement start to show themselves off. This is kind of like the Snoop Dogg thing from a few years ago, where Snoop Dogg played a full uncensored version of the next episode live in the arena. And it was caught on tape, and everybody was like, the NHL's not gonna like that. This is actually really funny. Let's go on to Reddit and take a look at some of the memes, the comments that people have been talking about in regards to Green Day and Billy Joe telling the crowd to get their hands in the air. Bruh, the NHL executive who booked Green Day. In all honesty, finally an all-star band that doesn't blow. Expecting Green Day to not drop F-bombs is just silly. I hope their multi-year contract sticks. But what do you expect? You hire Green Day, you get Green Day. And these are just some of the comments from this Reddit thread. I'll leave a link in the description below. I think it's a really interesting thing that we have here, because legitimately I rewatched some of the concert as a Green Day fan for pretty much my whole preteen and early teenage years. I know what it's like being a fan of that kind of music. I know what it's like to enjoy that music, and I know what makes that music enjoyable. And Green Day, at their concert, they totally just rock the house. That's what they're known to do. People expect Green Day, they get Green Day. They rock the house down, and they bring everybody down with them. That's just the whole experience at watching Green Day perform live. And curse words are going to be a part of that. And let's face it, it's not like this is the first, second, or even third time, because Billy Joe did get a hat trick of F-bombs in there, that word has been used out there on the ice. NHL players use that word a lot. It is captured by the on-ice microphones and accidentally broadcasted onto TV a lot. Jacob Markstrom used that word 2 days ago, once. So, for this to be such a big deal is not really a big deal, but at the same time, it is really interesting, because we know that this is the kind of thing that the NHL, as conservative as they are, most likely just absolutely doesn't tolerate. And that's what's so funny about it. That's the irony of this situation. We know that this is absolutely not what the NHL wanted. And to be fair, it makes sense as to why they wouldn't want it, but doing something like this, where you book Green Day, is not the right way to go about things if you want to avoid it. So, NHL, you guys got a really, really good act. I can't wait to see Green Day rock the house more in a few other NHL scenarios and settings. But don't think you're ever gonna censor Billy Joe Armstrong, man. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Green Day absolutely rocks, and we all know that. They're just gonna keep on rocking. That's how it goes. So that wraps up this video here. I'm not really too sure what else I wanted to talk about. I could talk about the Quinn Hughes and the Petterssons and all that stuff, because they did do really well in the All Star Game yesterday. As I said, I didn't watch it. I watched Tenki no Ko instead. But yeah, you know, there's quite a lot to talk about. I'll think about that a little bit later. So that brings us to the end of this video. Again, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. That's not what this video is about, but still, the fact that happened today is shocking. But Green Day and the NHL, interesting partnership they have going on over there. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.